Hello beautiful people, it's Z here with another video, and this one I really am excited to share about because I realize this may be the last one that I'm able to send out for the year, but it's also a topic that is near and dear to my heart. If you're new here, I'm Z. I share lessons in faith, family, and fulfillment in order to hopefully help you to look at your own lessons, reflect on them. And today I want to talk about why you don't need another goal. Now, listen, if you know anything about me and about my channel, I'm all about having vision and having goals and being productive and all of the buzzwords that can make life easier and can help us to set a target for where we're going. But I have just this burning desire to share with you all today why goal setting and the need for yet putting out goals, whether it be because we're entering into a new year or whether it be just because there's this desire to feel like as individuals that we ought to be striving towards something, that it pushes us to set these goals and write them down, maybe post them as a vision board. And you'll see my vision board is all up. I believe in just the ability to put words to paper and to be able to see things and to be able to be reminded of things. So you'll know that that's me. That's part of my makeup and what I do. But having said all that, one of the critical things that I think is important to remember as you even transition into the next year, Lord willing, is that we have this capacity as a culture to inundate you with all of the things that help you to create goals. So we've become great experts at goal setting, creating a template, a Pinterest, a twit, or something that's going to help you get your life right to be able to begin to execute some form of a goal. But we've become a bit lackadaisical, almost lazy in the realm of assessment. And I believe that this year, 2020, has given everybody the opportunity to assess in ways that we may not have ever been able to because we've been doing life. But see, this year we had to get still. This year we had to be able to get to a place where all we were left with were our thoughts, our fears, our worries, maybe our challenges. We were facing those things head on. So what that did was it created an opportunity to reflect, to assess, to really look at what life is like, what life has been like, where there were areas where we realized that there were things that we needed to rid ourselves of or things we needed to pick up. And so what am I saying? I'm saying you don't have to go far to find, I'm sure, a plethora of things that you've written down throughout the years about what you wanted to accomplish, what you hope to accomplish, what you desire to accomplish, what you wish for, willed for, named and claimed, and all of the above. But guess what? This year, we have been positioned to do something very, very different, very, very unique. And that is the ability to assess, what have I gained? What have you gained? And as you are thinking about what you have gained, I hope to share a little bit of how that has impacted me. You see, from being able to be still, I have gained insight, I've gained intel, I've gained data on things about my life that I may have missed and overlooked and run over and trampled over or continue to pledge through because I have been going about life. But this year has allowed me to recognize what I have gained. And what I have gained is the ability to be able to see and say things and to demonstrate things in my life that do not require me to have a goal because I'm already operating in those things if I simply take a moment to reflect. So for example, some of the things that I have gained this year is time with my family. Part of what I set out the year to do was to create decisions in a life that reflected my core values. You've seen maybe videos of that in the past, and I'll link some in the description box where I share about it. But one of my core values was family. And so this year I was, without even knowing it, having to look at my family more intensely, more intentionally, more purposefully. And so things that I have gained is time, quality time with my family. And being able to have that quality time opened me up to other things. It opened me up to seeing that there were things in my children where I could listen more intently to their needs and see that there were ways that I needed to either in prayer or through a strategy or a tool be able to attend to those needs more succinctly. I learned strategies and tools for how to manage and get out of debt, insurmountable things that my husband and I have been able to pay off, that has blown my mind, simply because financial freedom is a value of mine. But I didn't set out knowing directly the course. I simply understood that the decisions that I was going to make would allow for me to begin to think more as someone who has a lifestyle of financially free. I'm not there yet, but guess what? I am not where I was either. Why? Because I've gained strategies and tools that I've been able to implement this year simply from being still. I've been able to see the things that I have not had to put my hands to and pay for, the things that were not worth me having to pay for, the ways I've been able to conserve and save because I'm not out spending on fast food and things that I used to spend on because it was easy, it was simple. So I don't need to go into the new year trying to write a goal for something I've already gained. I just need to exercise what I've gained. I just need to continue to implement what I've already gained. And that is strategy and tools to be able to cut out and eradicate debt in my life in small ways. Now, I am not that single ply, wipe yourself, try to conserve one paper, one this at a time. That's not me. I applaud you if that is you. Keep up the good work. I am a person that likes to enjoy the things that I have gained, but I also recognize I don't have to gain it all. I also recognize that I have a heart that desires for others to have and to be able to help others. So I know that if I'm overloaded with something, then I can't be free to help someone else. And so these are areas that I have gained perspective on, which has walked itself out this year in my life. So I need not write down this goal, this huge thing that I'm trying to achieve. I need to continue to walk in the direction of those values. Another one, listen, because sometimes the gaining comes through the loss. I put down, for example, the fact I was so excited, you guys may remember who've been with me for a while, that I started out exercising and I had the opportunity to go stretched for 7 weeks at a time, getting up and taking my time with paying attention to my body and the things that I eat and exercising, having a regimen. My husband and I got to do that with our children together, sometimes with just him and I. And boy, did I feel so great about that. But then it all kind of dissipated, because life changes happen and my husband shifted back into work and a schedule. And so we fell out of that routine. So oftentimes we can see that as an opportunity to be like, oh, I didn't do it. I failed at something, or I didn't get it right. But I want you to know that I gained things in that are the things that are propelling me to know what it felt like to be able to work out for 7 straight weeks. And what I gained from that is that wasn't even the goal to begin with. See, some of us are writing down goals for what we want to gain and what we want to lose and what diets and what exercise routines, but that wasn't the goal. The value was family time. So in spending family time, I was able to gain things that have now helped me set the course for other patterns of my life. I gained energy, a renewed sense of energy, and we need every bit of it as mamas. And so being able to work out gave me energy. Man, before having children, I could not even stand the taste of water. You could not pay me to drink it. I preferred everything but now I yearn for it, because even in working out, my body became conditioned to drinking loads and loads of water. So now I'm continuing on a path to take in that water, even though the exercise has stopped. So what have I gained? I've gained intel and insight to the fact that there are things that I like to do to feel better in my sense of well-being, in my sense of health. So what am I going to do? I'm going to implement, I'm going to maintain those things that have brought me those types of things like energy and welfare. So I was talking to my husband the other day and telling him, look, we don't need to pick up another exercise regimen. We have found one that has invigorated us, that has caused us to be really clear about what we can do to maintain health and wellness. We just need to keep doing it, right? Because we've already seen the results of it. So the same would be said for you. You don't need to come pull up one more goal, pull out one more thing that you're going to add to your list of to-dos, because there are things you have gained this year alone that simply by continuing to implement, simply by taking on and using and exercising and pulling out and redoing your redo, whatever you have to do, you are able to do those things with what you've already gained. Another thing that comes to mind is one of my core habits, my core values rather, was standing on the truth of God's word. Well, it's good to stand on the truth of God's word, but it's one thing to stand, it's another to know it and to be sure about it. And so being able to this year have the room and the time to enroll in a course that gave me tools for how to interpret God's word, how to implement it in my life, how to exercise it to help others, being able to start and co-host a Bible study group with beautiful women who were a part of that, gave us the tools and the strategies for not only having peace with God, but having the peace of God, knowing that that happens and is activated through Thanksgiving. These are things that I've gained. So now I can continue to walk out Thanksgiving each and every day, looking for ways to say, this is what I'm grateful for. This has brought me gratitude. And those things yield peace. And I need my peace. And I know you need yours. So once again, this is yet another example of why we don't have to spend countless times in papers and money trying to reach or assess, or not assess, but set out to do all of these things called goals. Instead, if we take the time to reflect on the things that we've already gained, sometimes birthed out of loss, sometimes birthed out of giving up and sacrificing something. I think about my business, and I think about at the top of the year that I lost some of the people that I serve. I was not able to serve them any longer for different reasons. Well, that could have brought me to a place of thinking that, hey, this is not going to work. Maybe it's, I'm not cut out for this. But instead, I had to lean into and trust the fact that everything that God has put in my hands, I can yield to God every day and know that he's going to take care of. So what did he do? In me trusting him, he showed me that there was a different route that he was going. This was before we knew a pandemic would come. This before I knew that there would be families who would come out of a public school situation and need support. So he brought more from the things that seemed like a loss. What am I gaining? Perspective on what it means to lean not into my own understanding, but to trust God with all that I have and all that I am. And those things are things that I'm propelling into the next year and saying I'll continue to walk out. So I say all this to say that if you're one that's seeking and trying to gain clarity about what goal you're going to set for this year, what things you want to accomplish, what things you need to add to the things that may already be there, or how you didn't accomplish certain things and it's got you distraught or feeling like this wasn't your year, I'm here to tell you that there was more perspective that you can gain from this year than many of the years that have come, because you've had the time to really think and to reflect. And I believe that it is the gains, when we can take on the gains and assess what we have gained, what we have intangibly gained and tangibly gained, then it sets us out on a course to already be walking out goals. Without even knowing it, there are things that we will be able to take on and learn simply by walking out the course of our value systems and the things that we say that we govern our lives based on. And so I want to encourage you today, as we are closing out this year, to know that you have gained things. There are lessons, there are strategies, there are tools, there are insights, there's wisdom, there's knowledge that you have acquired, and you are responsible. You and I are responsible for using it. So don't look for that next thing. Use what's already within you, within your hands. So having said that, if you made it through to the end of this video, well, it's your day. So of course, I like to put all my reflections and all the things that I'm acquiring and gaining on paper, because it's important to see it. It is important to write it down so you can reflect on it, not at one time of year, but throughout the year. And this is I'm a girl that has to have a planner, and I have found the ones that work for me. This is a Pembroke planner. You guys can check them out at your local Aldi store if you're interested in them. But this is the one I have. But today, I bought two because I couldn't figure out which one I wanted, but I want to be able to bless somebody with a Pembroke all-inclusive. Gives you the ability to do all your planning, anything that you can think of, along with all sorts of supplies and tools to do it. I want to bless somebody with this. So here's how you can get it. Just simply drop me a line in the comments and let me know 2 things that you have gained this year that are actually going to be the things that you have reflected on and implementing for this year to come. 2 things, okay? At least 2. And then drop me an email if you would, because I want to be able to make sure that I can get this in your hands. Dr. Z at DrZlessons.com, and just put in the tag of it. I want the planner, okay? I want the planner. And so by doing those two things, I'm literally just going to randomly pick someone who does that, and they will be the winner of this great planner. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you'll continue to check me out in the year to come. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you guys for watching. God bless you. Mommy motivation.